right. See here. I think we're good. All right, and we're live. I'm toxic. She's masculine. Together we are toxic masculinity. Do you have anything to say to the fans here? To the whatever it is, 4 people watching, Valeria?
Oh, we're live. Okay.
We we are live. We are live.
Okay.
What's up? What's up with you?
Well, I'm doing great.
You're doing great. I'm doing great as well. Let's
Darling?
see. What?
Turn your monitor.
Turn my monitor. Oh, good call. Good call. Always something wrong when you tune in to toxic masculinity. We retain our position as the least professional show on YouTube. Let's see. I had an idea for a joke, but I think I've lost my place here. Let's see here. Yes. All right. I found it. Joke of the day for all 3 or 4 people on the chat. Joke is, it's not Biden's fault he's a bad president. He was never even elected.
Did you switch camera on you?
Oh, good Lord. Oh, darling, you didn't move this light.
Should I?
It's always supposed to be here. I'll beat her later. Yes. No. Minute. Yes, because you see, otherwise, the shadow of the microphone, it's all messed up. See, now there's no Valeria there because she's come to help me. She's a good wife. There she is, right into frame. All right, well, should we just get straight into the news?
Yep.
See what's going on? Jay Heath says, hello, Chris and Valeria. Hello, Jay Heath. Hello, Salty JD Coke. I assume that's how you pronounce your last name.
Did you have your opening segment was toxic masculinity?
I did not. Oh, thanks for the reminder, darling. All right, and now for my majestic intro. You ready, guys? Toxic masculinity. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Toxic masculinity. All right, shall we do the first story? Hello?
Somebody's saying that image is not clear.
That's not good, is it? Let's see. Open widget. Warning, the stream's bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. We recommend that you use a stream with a higher bitrate, 95,000. Okay, let's go ahead and look at that. Maybe we can fix something here. Stream. Let's see, stream is... Cannot change the stream settings whilst I'm live. Okay, what? It doesn't look too bad to me, but we'll just deal with it for now, and then we'll fix it for the next one.
Okay.
Repeating jokes already. Mark and Alberta, I did not do that joke already. I protest that criticism. All right. Okay. So Valeria, first story. Let's do it.
Michael Murray says Texas don't deserve vaccine.
Oh, Michael Moore.
Texans.
Michael Moore.
Michael Moore.
Michael Moore, not Moray, says Texans don't deserve the vaccine. Yeah, this is completely insane. So Michael Moore, the filmmaker, also known as Disgusting Fat Old Man, director Michael Moore slammed Texas for its decision to reopen the state and remove its mask mandate in a series of tweets on Wednesday, writing that the Lone Star State no longer needs our precious vaccine. Texas, we hear you. You didn't want to be part of our electrical grid, and now you've removed your mask mandate and are allowing large crowds to gather. We hear you. COVID is a hoax, so you don't need our precious vaccine. We'll send it to people who are saving lives by wearing masks, Moore wrote in a tweet. That was quickly ratioed by a slew of responses calling the remarks insensitive. Not only insensitive, completely insane. Yes, we must and will find a way to vaccinate the poor and people of color in Texas. To Texans who say, hey, it's not me, it's the governor. Well, then impeach and remove him. We're tired of this. Don't mess with Texas. Happy to oblige. He doesn't want to mess with Texas. He wants to leave Texas alone and let them die of COVID, apparently. The tweets come after Governor Abbott opened up the state, blah, 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 blah. But see, here's the problem with Michael Moore's insane rantings. It's like he clearly doesn't know how vaccines work.
That's not a vaccine. It's mRNA.
You mean because it's an experimental vaccine? It is an experimental vaccine. We can say that, but it still functions the same way as a vaccine. But this guy clearly doesn't understand how vaccines work, because vaccines aren't meant necessarily to protect yourself from a virus, although they do have that function, obviously. But when it comes to viruses in particular that target specific demographics, right? They have a particularly strong effect on a particular demographic. If I'm not in that demographic, if I'm not morbidly obese or old, and I take the vaccine, I'm not taking it for me. I'm taking it for older people that I might run into if I were to, say, catch the COVID virus. I wouldn't want to infect them and kill them. So it would be something I would be doing for other people, right? And look, there's this bizarre idea on the left that people on the right believe that coronavirus is a hoax or COVID is a hoax. And there are some of those people. I think there are probably those people on the left and the right. There are people that are very much into conspiracy theories. They think that, that all the world governments have conspired together to create a hoax vaccine, stuff like that. But that is not a typical belief on the right by any stretch of the imagination. I would say that as many people on the right believe that COVID is a real serious, virus as do on the left. The number of crazy conspiracy theorist types on the right are, I think, probably even less than are on the left. So yeah, nobody's not taking COVID seriously. His idea is like, oh, people on the right don't believe COVID's a real thing, so I guess you don't need the vaccine. Nobody's saying that, dude. And also, like, everybody on the left, and we talked about this in the previous video, it's like everybody on the left seems to think that if you don't wear 2 masks... 2 masks...
Don't go too far, please.
Don't correct me, woman.
Don't give them an idea.
Don't correct me, woman.
Can you please don't give them an idea about 3 masks?
I've heard 3. They've said 3. There have been reports of people insisting that 3 is a good... I'll show them to you when we're off the air.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Wives. You can believe it? Always just, beating you down. Anyways, so 2 or 3 masks. If you're not locked down completely 100% of the time, well, then you're trying to kill grandma. Well, maybe actually we're trying to make money so that we can buy grandma, some nice stuff. Maybe we're trying to prolong grandma's life by giving her better health care because we have a good job. Maybe that's what we're doing. You moron. You got these people who they don't recognize the value of money. They don't recognize the value of having any kind of like social interaction. They don't realize the value of having a high quality of life, because people like Michael Moore, they're not affected by any of this stuff. Right? He's a documentary filmmaker. He has a podcast. He does that kind of stuff. None of the COVID restrictions affect him in any way whatsoever. It's not like he has to get to the gym anyway. Have you seen him? That man's never been to a gym in his life. Have you seen this guy? Do you know who this guy is?
No.
Look at
Fortunately.
him. Look at him. Look at him. The man's like 600 pounds. He doesn't care about going to the gym. Yeah, of course you don't care. All he cares is that everybody else wears masks and stays inside so that he doesn't catch the disease because he's morbidly obese. Okay, well, maybe you should want the gyms to open, Michael Moore, so you wouldn't be so, so vulnerable. All right, anyway, this guy's a piece of garbage. Everybody knows it. I don't want to waste any more time on him. Let's move on to the next story.
That was easy for me. Okay.
Do you have anything to say about it?
No.
Okay.
I already said everything.
I didn't think you would. All right, moving on to the next story.
Amazon removes writings of Justice Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah, this is interesting. Oh, shoot. Did I?
What did you do?
I didn't open that one. Hold on a second. I gotta grab that one.
Possible, Chris? Come on, man.
Give me a second. There we go. All right.
And I think camera is still on me.
That's okay. People like looking at you. You're pretty. All right. Moving on to the Justice Clarence Thomas thing. All right. You know what? I'll go to this one. All right, so Amazon pulls Justice Clarence Thomas doc as censorship of conservatives content continued. Now, this guy is a Supreme Court justice. This doesn't even make any sense at all. All right, Amazon continues to generate headlines for canceling content that does not coincide with his liberal politics, and Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas appears to be its latest victim. The documentary film about Thomas, Created Equal, Clarence Thomas in his own words, was removed from Amazon's streaming service last month, and the filmmaker said that he was never given an explanation. What Amazon has done is a disservice to anyone black or white who is interested in the rich history of black Americans. Wall Street Journal columnist Jason L. Riley wrote about this decision. The film features extensive interviews with Thomas and chronicles his journey from the depths of poverty to the Supreme Court and everything in between, including his contentious confirmation hearings where Anita Hill accused him of sexual harassment. But Joe Biden, who was chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee during the hearings that riveted the nation, grilled Anita Hill in archival footage used in the films. Oh, so they think this is why, because it actually makes Joe Biden look bad. I didn't have time to read this particular article.
It's not possible to make Joe Biden look bad.
That's not possible.
What are you talking about, darling?
Yeah. Say that again in the perfectly serious tone that you said it just a moment ago that I missed on camera.
Chris.
Yeah.
It's not possible to make Joe Biden looks bad.
That, you know what? I am so sorry, people. My wife is right. It is that what a foolish thing for me to say. But yes, but that's the fear, apparently. The fear is that they're going to make Joe Biden look bad. That's amazing. So I hadn't read this article. I didn't have time to read it before we got on the air today. I just had read the headline. This is fascinating. Let's see here. Okay, Amazon did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Filmmaker Michael Pack told the Wall Street Journal he was never offered an explanation as to why Amazon removed it. Our distributor, who is the one that made the deal with Amazon, has repeatedly asked them for explanations, but they haven't given any. They have the right to pull anything from their site that they don't, and they don't have to give an explanation, he continued. So it's not a contract violation, but many people have complained that they haven't put it back up. A search for Amazon Prime for, quote, Created Equal, unquote, turns up a 2017 movie by the same name about an attorney suing the Catholic Church. A 1980s television series, Free to Choose, Anita speaking truth to power about Hill, and, quote, Confirmation, end quote, a 2016 HBO movie about Hill's accusations. So it's like, so Anita Hill, I don't know if you're aware of the whole situation, but Clarence Thomas was nominated for the Supreme Court. He's black, so that was kind of a profound thing. But he's also a conservative, so a lot of leftists didn't want him on the court. And so this woman Anita Hill came out and said that that he had sexually harassed her, and so therefore he shouldn't be a Supreme Court nominee. Basically, exactly the same thing that happened with Kavanaugh. Exactly the same. They had the whole kind of same thing, and obviously Anita Hill. Well, okay. Either she was lying or she was making a really big deal out of nothing. And she was also black, so they couldn't accuse her of being racist or anything like that. But it seemed to most conservatives like this is some kind of a smear job, right? It seemed like to most conservatives like they were trying to smear Clarence Thomas because they didn't want, like the left didn't want conservatives to have the first black Supreme Court justice on the court. So and nobody ever talks about that, but that's kind of a profound thing to have happened. But anyway, he got in, and he's been a Supreme Court justice ever since. And yeah, he's been great. He's a good guy. But now they've taken that documentary off their streaming service because, one, I think the main reason is because it makes Joe Biden look bad. That's what it seems like to me. But also, I think it also kind of indicates, because when you search for it, you see Anita Hill's side of the story, right? You see another documentary that indicates that she's telling the truth and that Clarence Thomas wasn't. Anyway, just another bit of, big tech hating conservatives and loving the left and suppressing content. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just say, when you control information, that's when things start to shift in a culture in a way that is authoritarian, right? So I was talking to Valeria a little while ago about this. This is what they did in Russia, right? I asked her how. I'll ask her now. Hey, Valeria, how many people in the Soviet Union do you think believed in the communist idea, believed in the Soviet Union?
Well, not much.
No, now, not
Not
much. But at the time, at the height of the Soviet
well.
Union.
I have no idea, because
Right.
I didn't live
Well,
in
okay,
Soviet Union.
so this whole attempt to get Valeria to say what I wanted failed miserably. But the last time I asked her, I said, how many people believed in the Soviet Union? And she said, everyone. You said everyone followed the dictates and believed in the. Are you changing your
Well,
mind now?
some old people who lived in USSR, they
No, no, no.
still
No. I'm saying
think.
back in the USSR,
Mhm.
at the time of the USSR, how many people believed in the USSR?
A lot, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, probably most, if not, yeah. And I asked her why, and she said that was the only idea that people had. People didn't know anything outside of that, and that's what they're trying to do in America now, right? If you only know critical race theory, right? If you only know this neo-Marxist idea about stuff, if you only know these bizarre ideas about power structures, and you don't really hear any counter arguments, then all you believe, all you know, is what they're telling you. And so when Amazon and YouTube, what's funny?
My friend, she's a history teacher, so she said approximately 80%. The rest of it move out.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. You would have yeah. Anyway, so unless you're getting a broad spectrum of ideas, you're only going to believe what they tell you to believe, because that's the only thing you've heard. That's the only thing that you know. That's what they do in China. That's what they used to do in USSR. All these authoritarian, dictatorial countries, they dictate what you know so that you can't have any ideas beyond what they're telling you. That's why the constriction of information, the blocking of political ideas, that's why that is so dangerous. All right, I'm clearly being mocked by my wife because she's over here in the corner laughing.
You're not being mocked.
All right, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, she told me she had to read Lenin's like diary or something.
Uh-huh.
So this is how she knows how many people believed in this.
Why were you laughing at that?
Because she said I'm embarrassing her.
Oh, that's great. I love that. I love that. That's adorable. All right, darling. Why don't we move on to the next story?
Canada's quarantine hotels backfire as people starved.
I think you missed one.
No, it's a third one.
That's the third one. Okay, well, maybe I got these out of order. That's fine. All right, let's have a look at that one.
I'll beat
Canada's
him later.
quarantine. Sorry, what?
I'll beat you later.
I can't hear you.
I will beat you later.
Oh, she's going to beat me later. All right, yeah, it happens. All right, Canada's quarantine hotels backfire as people starve. Now, I didn't know about this, actually. Somebody on Twitter actually sent me this a story. Let's see here. Who sent me this? Lauren. Let's see. What's her name? Lauren De Laguna. So you can follow her on Twitter. She's got some good information. She posts some great stuff. She sent me this. Canada's quarantine hotels backfire as people starve. So what they're doing in Canada is, if you travel to Canada, that you have to quarantine for 3 days.
Oh, 3 days is not bad.
It's not bad, but it's ridiculous. You shouldn't have to quarantine for 3 days.
I don't understand why 3 days. Usually it's like 10 days or 2 weeks.
That's only if you. That's like you're talking about compared to Hawaii, specifically. Yeah, because Hawaii is crazy. Let's see. A couple of weeks ago, the Canadian government introduced a new set of rules forcing international air travelers to quarantine in hotels for 3 days upon arrival. Because, see, like, I don't even think that they have a thing where you can say, I've been tested. I think it's just no matter what across the board, you have to stay in a hotel for 3 days if you travel to Canada. Yeah. Like in Hawaii, you can get a test, COVID test, within, I think, something like 24 hours before you fly.
72.
72 hours before you fly.
Yeah.
And if you have a negative result, you can go into Hawaii and it's fine. That's how they fix that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to Hawaii and you don't have the COVID test, you have to quarantine for like 2 weeks or something.
10 days.
Yeah, and they actually, before they had that for everybody, before they implemented this testing system, But yeah, Canada has just implemented this, which I feel like it's a little late now. you know? But anyway, let's see here. The plan has since backfired after a series of endless, chaotic setbacks, including food shortages and even alleged sexual assaults. Vancouver's local radio station CKWX reports travelers have become upset at Sheraton Gateway Hotel in Toronto after they waited hours for their meals. Somebody whose name I can't pronounce, who traveled outside of Canada to visit her father, said she waited hours for food only to receive nothing more than a flimsy piece of salmon. Barely a meal. She also said there was no water, there was no fork or knife, no utensils, no salt, pepper, nothing. Twitter user Raymond Truesdale commented the frustration between travelers at the Toronto hotel and staff. Truesdale said, here at the Sheraton Hotel, Airport Terminal 3, they were ill-prepared for this 3-day quarantine. No kitchen staff, no food. And they say no water. People have to come to lobby boondoggle. They say no water. People have to come to lobby. I don't know what that means exactly. But they've got some videos here which I haven't actually looked at. Do you want to see what they're doing?
Yeah.
This might be interesting.
For a room. No, he's giving us sandwiches that are not allowed. I do understand. I understand that.
And we are not animals to be
I understand that. You should transfer to other hotels.
Yes.
And decline our money. For a room. No,
Well, that lady did not seem happy.
So you can't leave hotel for 3 days. You have to be in your room for 3
I mean,
days.
it doesn't seem like the most chaotic thing I've ever seen, but it doesn't seem nice. It seems like people are pretty unhappy. Oh, there we go. There's a nice beans and rice. This is what they're serving in the quarantine hotel. Hotel Sheraton Gateway Airport, Toronto. $50. Oh, wow. You are kidding me. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that, guys. $50 ordered at 4 p.m. got delivered at 10 p.m. So they got it 6 hours late, $50, and it's beans and rice. Is that real? That is astonishing.
Why there's such a delay for 6 hours delay?
I don't know, but I guess because people are trapped there and they can't leave, so they don't mind giving them bad service, or maybe there's too many people. I don't really know. It's crazy. Look, if people are healthy, look, guys, governments of the world, Joe Biden, Trudeau, all of you morons, listen up. If people are healthy, they don't need to be quarantined. They don't need to wear masks. They don't need any of that crap, all right? The only reason, they don't even need to socially distance. They don't need to follow any of the bull crap that you've done. If a person does not have coronavirus, they don't need to follow any of those rules because it's not going to help anything. You're not going to get somebody sick if you don't have a virus already. All right, if you're not sick, if you're healthy, you don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to social distance. You don't have to be in quarantine. These people have gone insane. These people have gone insane. All right, next story. Unless you want to say something. Do you want to say something?
No.
No, I want you to say something.
I want you to say something. Okay, French health workers say no to vaccine.
French health workers. Yeah, this is an interesting story. Did you not get the Cat in the Hat stuff?
What?
Cat in the Hat. The Dr. Seuss stuff. Is there no Dr. Seuss stuff on there? There's no Dr. Seuss stuff. All right. Well, I will announce this story because I don't know. I guess I failed to send this to Valeria in the list. Ban Dr. Seuss books. Hold on. This is the story here. All right. Let me go back. All right. eBay scraps canceled Dr. Seuss books from their website. To me, this is one of the most egregious things that I've seen all week, right? Not only
Switch camera.
to what?
I thought it's on me.
No. All right. Thank you for making this show one of the most professional programs on the air, Valeria. Another beautiful.
That's what I have to do.
Beautiful moment here at Toxic Masculinity. All right. So not only can we not get these books on Amazon, not only can we not get these books from, the Dr. Seuss, the people who publish Dr. Seuss have decided they're not producing certain books because they're racist. But now you can't even sell the books you have on Amazon. This is mental. Okay, so just the other day, the books were selling for like insane amounts of money. If I Ran the Zoo was selling for $670. Mulberry Street 202. I imagine that's gone way up. On Beyond Zebra $220. This one Scrambled Eggs and Super. Scrambled Eggs Super. See, I don't know. I never had these books when I was a kid. I only had I think I had this one. But anyway, so this one's 202, and over here in this story, let's see here. It said that there was one book, I can't find it now, that was like selling for thousands. Let's see here. On Amazon, you could get first editions of this one, McGilliott's Pool, for $1,250. See, first editions are different though. First editions are always expensive.
Oh, yeah.
But I do think that this is obscene. I mean, this is crazy expensive. And but anyway, so now even if say you have one of these old Dr. Seuss books and you want to sell it on eBay, you're not allowed to sell it on eBay.
Well, people always will find a way to sell what they have.
For sure. But most people go to eBay when they want to buy and sell their stuff. This is unbelievable.
Can you sell it on Facebook?
Hold on. Let me go to eBay real quick. I want to show you guys something. I don't know if this is true, but let me just check. Let me just check. Okay. There we go. Nazi flags. You can buy your Nazi flags. There we go. Patriotic Russian flag. That's not a Russian flag. That's a Soviet flag. This is USSR flag. Russian flag. These are pictures of Russian flags, I think. I mean, of Nazi flags. Here we go. Swastika stamp. Not a Nazi stamp. So you can buy, and these are relatively cheap. $3. I could get a Nazi stamp. A real Nazi stamp from real Nazi Germany. Legit. $3 on here. I can't buy a Dr. Seuss book. Ah! Mind exploding. Okay, hold on. Let me check some other stuff here. Let me check some of the some of the other stuff here. What do they call those little? Let's see, black doll. They have these little dolls. There we go. Okay, here we go. They have these dolls from the old times with the red lips, the sort of caricature old black dolls. I can't find any on here, but I'm sure. I'm sure I could find them if I knew the name. Somebody write the name in the comments of those black caricature type folks. My grandmother my great aunt used to collect black dolls, and some of them seemed, by modern standards, pretty racist. But she had no racist idea about it. She just liked black dolls for some reason, and some of them had these caricature white lips or red lips, Yeah, so you got Soviet flags. You got, well, this is an anti. There's some anti swastika flags. But yeah, you can get swastika flags. You can get pictures of this stuff. You get stamps from Nazi Germany. Let's see. Just put Nazi. Let's just put Nazi in. See what happens. See what we get. There we go. Nazi coins. That's kind of. I mean, I like coins, so I think that's actually kind of fascinating. But, yeah, you can get all kinds of Nazi stuff. I wonder if you get a Nazi helmet. That's interesting, because I used to see those in markets in London. Yeah, there you go. You can get a World War II Nazi helmet.
It's a gollywog?
Gollywog. Boom. Thank you. Gollywog. Boom. Boom. You can get all this stuff. I think Gollywog might be a particular series of them. But yeah, you can get this kind of stuff. You can get that kind of imagery.
It's a doll-like character, right?
What's that?
It's a doll-like character.
Well, this is one of them. There were a lot of different kinds of these black figures, but this is a perfect example. So you can get that, but you can't get Dr. Seuss, who was an anti-racist. He was an anti-racist, but you can get this. Now, I don't necessarily think that the person who wrote this was racist either, but certainly this is something that would, I imagine, be more outrageous to people's sensibilities than Dr. Seuss. I mean, it's ridiculous. Oh, you can get rare Luftwaffe flight gloves. It's so
Can you
bizarre.
type Dr. Seuss and see if you can buy something?
Yeah, let's go Dr. Seuss. I mean, you can definitely buy stuff. But for Dr. Seuss, you just can't buy those certain books. I think it's like that. Let's see. So you can buy Dr. Seuss, you know. You just can't buy the ones that they've decided that are on the list of evil books because they're racist, right? But again, you can buy a German World War II helmet. Ooh, that one's kind of neat because it's like battle damaged. Either that or it was just sitting in a barn for a long time and got all rusted out. God, look, that is actually pretty fascinating. I love historical stuff. You know, I get that this is kind of sensitive because it's like, but it is fascinating. But you can buy legit Nazi paraphernalia, but you cannot buy Dr. Seuss books. The world has gone mad. Okay, sorry, guys. Next story.
Okay, once again, French health workers say no
think
to
that's
vaccine.
That's right. Okay, yeah, so this is interesting. And look, I'm not covering this because I'm taking a position for or against the vaccine. I actually think the vaccine is probably safe. Valeria thinks it's terrible. You know, we haven't taken it. We don't plan on taking it, but it's not something I would discourage you from doing. I believe in vaccines. Even this experimental one, I think, is probably not a bad thing to do. I'm not going to encourage anybody to take it. I'm not going to discourage anybody to take it. I'm just saying I don't think it's unsafe. Valeria does think it might be unsafe. She's more concerned than I am. But the point is that there are people with legitimate concerns about the vaccine around the world. And in this particular instance, it looks like it says half of French home health workers say that they will resist taking the vaccine. It's
Good
kind of
for
a
them.
lot.
Aren't they like required to take it?
So, yeah, I think there is an attempt to require them to take it. And also there are caregivers in other countries who are also refusing to give it in even higher numbers. Let's have a read here. Astounding new figures out of France okay. Again, I should have read more Dr. Seuss growing up because I clearly cannot read. Let's try this again. Astounding new figures out of France suggest what is no doubt a broader global trend of hesitancy and skepticism when it comes to the current big push to vaccinate all. Reuters, in covering the counties. I've lost my ability to read. The country's vaccine rollout finds that merely around half the health workers in French care homes do not want to be vaccinated, even after many of these even after many of these people routinely witness the ravages of COVID-19 on the elderly and the infirm. There's a complete loss of trust, one home health worker and trade union representative was cited in the report as saying, reflecting the resistance to the growing pressure put on often underpaid staff in difficult working conditions who are being ordered to get vaccinated, lest they risk the safety and the health of elderly patients. And another reflected a common answer of, I'm going to wait a bit. Which, waiting a bit, I think that's a sensible thing to do, just to make sure there's no side effects, after
What do you mean waiting a bit? You will have to wait like several years. 1, 2,
I mean,
3.
if you're so
do you know
nervous.
how long side effects can take like up to 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, if you're genuinely concerned that there's going to be like long-term effects, then you're probably just not going to take it. And I think that's probably quite a large segment of the population who feels that way. Let's see here. The intense skepticism and pushback stems from the fact that it's both the government that's reportedly underpaying them while also demanding they get the jab. Reuters presents a common refrain among the frontline caregivers as follows. Marie-France Boudre, who works in a French home for the elderly, watched a patient suffocate to death in front of her because COVID-19 had infected his lungs. When her employer offered her a vaccination against the virus, the nurse hesitated. Well, I've got some doubts, said Boudre, 48 years old. I prefer to wait. The trend is also being observed across Europe, raising deep concerns among health officials that the elderly population remains at great risk to the degree that large portions of health workers refuse or at least delay the jab. The report offers as nearby examples Germany and Switzerland, where resistance to the vaccine among home health care staff could be even greater than in France. In Germany, care home operator Benevit Group surveyed staff in November and found only 30% wanted to get vaccinated, writes Reuters. So yeah, so people throughout Europe are like kind of scared of this vaccine. And Valeria's looking at me right now like she's saying, "I told you so. I told you. I'm
I
right."
told you.
See, there we
I
go.
told
There we
you.
go.
You don't remember?
No, of course you've told me. Of course, I've actually mentioned it on the show just now. Were you not listening to the report that I gave? Anyway, so point is, there is a lot of concern out there. Whether that's a good thing, whether that's a bad thing, I don't know. You guys choose for yourself. I'm just reporting the news. All right. Do we have any more stories, darling?
We have one more stories, but I think first we need to answer this $10 question.
Oh, we've got a $10 question.
$10 question.
Cha-ching. Thank you so much.
Can you read it? Because I think some words are difficult for me to
All right.
pronounce.
Okay, it's the R heretic. It says, "Can you shill me?" Question mark. I talk about less covered but pertinent current events. Just did a video on the death of Ashley Babbitt, now on Rumble, and on YouTube next week. Links in Rumble to BitChute. And in the description. Why not? The R Heretic. You didn't put a link to your channel here, or tell us what your channel is. But yeah, if you guys want to watch his show, it sounds like a good show, actually. I will probably actually watch that. The R Heretic. So
Okay.
I'm going to have a look when we're done with this show. I will watch your show. Okay, so let's go back to...
Your camera?
Well, no, you need to read the last story.
Okay. Manhattan luxury homeowners sell properties at loss.
Yeah, so this is fascinating. Manhattan luxury homeowners are selling their properties at a loss. Manhattan luxury condo frenzy petered out a few.
How much? I want to know how much.
Yeah, why you want to buy a condo in New
Well,
York?
if the market is crashing, why wouldn't you want to buy
I
like?
think a lot of these condos are millions. I don't know if we have the money for that, sweetie.
Not yet.
Manhattan. Too bad your parents aren't rich. You could call up your folks, Daddy. We want to buy a condo in New York. Sadly, I didn't marry an heiress of any kind. I married an ordinary girl. Let's see here. Manhattan luxury condo, Manhattan's luxury condo frenzy petered out a few years ago. Owners are taking realized losses as they offload properties at steep losses. That was not a particularly well-written sentence, but you get the idea. A prime example of this is the pending deal at 551 West 21st Street, where 2 units listed for a combined $26 million found a buyer after a couple of years and on and off the market, according to Bloomberg, who cited data from brokerage Olson Realty. The owner initially acquired the property in 2016 for $31.3 million and then attempted to flip it for $40 million the following year. With no success, the owner is expected to realize a 17% loss on the properties once the transaction is completed. Manhattan's luxury condo market peaked a few years ago and has since developed into a nightmare for sellers. Massive supply is quickly eroding the values as inventory builds. In early 2020, half of all new luxury condo units constructed after 2015 in the borough were unsold. A confluence of macroeconomic headwinds as well as SALT deduction caps and transfer taxes cooled the market. Then came the big bad pandemic that wreaked even more havoc in the borough. Let me see here. So now here's I think where we're talking. With Mayor Bill de Blasio doing everything he possibly could to drive both businesses like Goldman Sachs and individual citizens out of the city, the effects of this colossal mismanagement and the general cluelessness have come at a loss, even for some wealthy elites who bought luxury condos in the last several years, thinking that they could flip the units for a quick buck. Many have transformed into bag holders, or recently they want out and are willing to take realized losses. I mean, this is essentially a story about how badly mismanaged New York is, right? Like, you should always be able to make money in New York buying real estate, buying and selling real estate, because it should always be people moving into New York. People should always want to live there, right? It's a great place for economic growth. It's a great place for a lot of things. And, I used to live in New York. There were things I loved about it. There's things I didn't love about it. I was desperately poor at the time, so it's a little bit tough. But yeah, it's got it's definitely got an interesting character. I've taken you to New York fairly recently. What did you think of it?
Well, it's nice, but I don't think I would want to live there because it's super freezing at winter.
At least when we were there, it was a bit cold. Yeah, but actually, when we were there, it was COVID, and so there was very few people. It was almost like the streets were like empty, and it was fantastic. We could just walk around. We went to one of the best restaurants we've ever been to. There's things about the city that are really nice, really beautiful, really amazing, but somebody like de Blasio running that city absolutely destroyed it during COVID. The lockdowns, they implemented all these laws that just chase people out of the city. People don't even want to live there anymore. And you've got homelessness is a huge problem. You've got crime is now a huge problem. It didn't used to be. I mean, they had basically fixed the city under you guys know who I'm talking about. Trump's lawyer. Who's Trump's lawyer?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Giuliani?
Giuliani. Oh my God. I don't remember names no good. Rudy Giuliani used to be the mayor of New York. And Larry did not know that. Yeah, and he made the city amazing. The city was an amazing place when he was running the city. And then now, de Blasio's in there with his woke daughter telling him what to do, and he just destroyed the city. And this is just what would you call this? This is just like a warning to Democrats, or just to people around the country. If you vote Democrats into office, they will ruin your city. Do not vote for Democrats, guys. They will ruin your city. I don't understand. I don't understand why anyone would vote for de Blasio. I don't know why anyone would vote for Cuomo. I don't understand why anyone would vote for any of these.
Are you not sure those whatever de Blasios and other people, they've been fairly voted for?
Oh no!
You think they were chosen by people? I don't think so.
But the thing about that is, New York is a very blue area. The city of New York. City of New York is very blue.
Well, if you're very blue, then get what you deserve. Don't complain. Why are you complaining? And those people who live in New York, and they are like, oh, this place is getting so terrible. This management so terrible. Let's move somewhere. Oh, what about Florida? Let's vote for blue there. Don't. It's like, don't California my Texas kind of stuff. Right. I have a girl like this that I know. She lived in LA for a long time. She moved to New York while pandemic. And she is anti-Trump. She's pro-Democrat. She's like, oh, Trump is bad, Trump is evil, and Republicans are terrible, and blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, oh, if I would buy a house, I would buy it in Florida. Oh, go F yourself. Go back to your New York.
Right.
That you so much in love with New York.
Yeah.
If you are pro-Democrats, then live in blue state. Why would you want to buy a house or move to a red states?
Well, it's tough. My thinking is I don't think Democrats really realize that it's their policies that ruin places, which is bizarre to me. It's they used to have this saying like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, which, by the way, is not the definition of insanity. I hate that expression. That's the definition of persistence, people, but whatever. Anyway, somebody needs a dictionary.
That's probably me.
But there is this idea that you should see that there is a grain of truth in that saying, right? And the grain of truth is that if you can't perceive that what you're doing isn't working to where you have to change it up, you're basically doomed to failure. You need to be able to you need to be somewhat introspective in life. I was talking to somebody the other day about having kids. We don't have kids, obviously, but I
what
have
do you mean
noticed...
we don't have kids? There's one in the bathroom.
Okay, we have one
crying
child named Aston that we lock in the bathroom because we're cruel. But when you have kids, your kids pick up a lot of your habits. They just copy you. And a lot of people, they're not aware of their bad habits until their kids pick them up, and then they're thinking, "Oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm a horrible person." And it kind of forces you to be introspective. Now, I'm actually pretty introspective just generally. I like thinking about what I'm doing and thinking about that kind of stuff. But a lot of people, I don't think they do. I think a lot of people never really think about who they are, what they do, what their beliefs are, if they're hypocrites, if they're not. And I think one thing that Democrats don't think about is like, I've elected somebody who's ruined my city. I've elected somebody who's ruined my state. They're not necessarily, recognizing, they're not identifying the pattern of problems. They're not seeing that, every time a Democrat is elected, we have all these problems. Every time a Republican is elected in a particular area, that place tends to do better. And so they don't have that recognition. They don't think, this is a sort of maybe indirect result of my actions voting for a Democrat. They don't think about it like that. And that's well, we got the heater going on. You want to go turn it off? All right, but I think we're done, yeah?
1 second, I'm gonna...
I can turn it off. I think that's it for the news. Do you wanna start reading questions and
just in
comments?
time. We have a $5 question from
Hey, perfect.
William Merchant.
William Merchant, love it.
Okay. I joined TikTok to try and share my art and promote my card game. I've seen multiple children's books with gender-neutral animals. The next Dr. Seuss. Gender-neutral animal.
Let's see here. William Marchant. It's not Merchant, it's Marchant.
Sorry.
He says, I joined TikTok
I'm
to try
so
to share my
sorry.
art and promote my card game. I've seen multiple children's books with gender-neutral animals. The next Dr. Seuss. So basically he's saying that some people are now writing children's books with with basically like SJW woke ideology in there, trying to manipulate children into thinking that this is like all normal, right? There are no genders, there's multiple genders.
Well, we have a gender-neutral cat.
We have a gender-neutral cat. Valeria says that because he has been neutered. She thinks this is very funny.
It's funny.
Have you read anything else?
Valeria, they taught Russian children anything about the
Failures of Marxism or
failures?
Leninism?
Yes, thank you, Chris.
Were you taught about how the Soviet Union was a failure when you were growing up?
Not really.
They try to cover that
Like
up?
that's the history. It's failed. I mean, I don't remember anything negative about communism.
Communism?
Yes.
Really?
Mhm.
So,
it's
but-
just a history. Whatever. We had like Russian Empire, USSR.
So they just
Russian
teach it as a kind
Federation.
of stage of history
It's
as
just a
opposed
history, yeah.
to...
Mhm.
Yeah, interesting. Let's see here. He goes, Anonymous writes, I'll give you guys $100 super chat if Chris does a striptease. Trust me,
You don't want to see that.
that is not worth $100. That is, I might give you $100 and you might give it back. It's not going to be pretty. Let's see here. Binary Recoil writes, I knew a girl from Colorado 10 years ago. Oh no, hold on. Who ran off to Colorado. She thought drinking beer while driving was fine. I said good riddance. Wow, that's pretty hardcore. I would not have said good riddance. I would have said... There's actually an old joke. I think it's from... who's that guy we actually went to his show? Joe Mackey. Joe Mackey. He's a conservative comedian. If you haven't seen Joe Mackey, look him up. He's amazing. M-A-C-H-I, I think his last name is. Check his stuff out on YouTube. It's hilarious. But he has this bit where he says, people say that friends don't let friends drive drunk, but they never say anything about friends letting enemies drive drunk. He says, there was this guy, and he always bullied me in school. And one day I saw him at a party, and he was all drunk, and he was trying to get into his car. And I ran up and I tried to grab his keys, and I was like, "Hey man, you're drunk, don't drive." And he's like, "Screw you, you little nerd," or something like that. don't tell me what to do, all this kind of stuff. And he goes, I bet you can't beat me home. Or something like that. The joke goes something like that. Anyway, it's pretty funny. Look up his stuff. I can't do it justice, but look up his stuff. Joe Mackey, hilarious comedian. I love that guy. Somebody else has seen, yeah, I'm a Plant. You finally caught the live show. I think I've seen you on here before once. Maybe I'm wrong, but good to see you. I'm a Plant. We're actually just about to sign off, I think, right? We have 10 minutes left. We can take some more questions.
I thought that today is March 4th, not the March 3rd, which is on your video.
Oh, I changed it, but sometimes it doesn't switch. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. Anyway,
Okay.
any more questions?
Question. Otaku Magnet? Okay. How dependent are Russian workers on getting paid under the table to make a living? I have heard it is quite prevalent, but that it has detrimental impact on retirement benefits. That's absolutely true. Yeah, I mean, some people work on what we called like a black envelope, which means that your salary doesn't go through pension.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have any retirement money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why people have job with taxes, pension, retirement stuff, and they have like a second job or I don't know, job for cash or something like this. Well, even if you work hard your whole life, getting salary, working like not for black money, just for like white money with all of the taxes, you're still getting terribly small pension.
Mm-hmm.
It's very small.
Mm-hmm.
Like my grandma worked the whole life and she's getting, well, not that only bad, but still not enough.
We send her an occasional couple of bucks here and there.
Not grandma. She's doing
Oh, you don't
fine.
send grandma any money?
She doesn't need any money. She's not asking me. And even if I will send her, she won't take any.
She's got that Russian toughness.
Yeah, Russians are they like helping their children or
They wanna help their
grandchildren.
children. They don't want to be helped by their children.
Yeah.
So your wife's son. Hold on, he had a good question here. Valeria, do they teach SJW propaganda in Russian schools?
No.
Yeah, Russians are actually really racist. They're really homophobic. They're really misogynist. They're basically all the things that the left pretends that conservatives are in America. Valeria, you're supposed to comment on that since you're the expert.
I'm reading about how my hair is so shiny and beautiful. What did you ask me? Sorry, darling.
Oh, Savannah Dyer writes, last time I meant to say that Twitch got canceled. Also that there was 18. I was 18, just to say that there are people my age who are conservatives, just not many. Yeah, if you go to like CPAC, you'll see a lot of like 18-year-old conservatives. Absolutely inspiring, really just fantastic. I've done a lot of pictures with younger conservatives and just had like amazing conversations. These guys and girls are really smart and really just really impressive people. I mean, if they are anything to go by, then we're in good hands going forward in the future. I'm just afraid there's not enough conservative young people, but the ones who are out there, and so thank you, Savannah. You're very cool. I think people like you are awesome. You're the future, obviously, and I always find people like her impressive. People, younger conservatives are always very impressive to me.
Okay, I think I have to answer this question.
Okay, let me switch over to you.
I'm a plant about what conditioner I'm using.
All right, guys. Now for the important stuff.
I'm just glad that my effort to keep my hair and like face and nails beautiful are not noticeable.
Oh, she just got her nails done. Show your nails to camera, darling.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is this how?
Yeah, there you
Yes.
go. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good.
Okay, well, I'm using Kerastase. Is that how you pronounce it? Kerastase?
I don't know.
Well, that's what I use.
Okay, Carastus.
Carastus.
Why don't you
Pink
look it up
one.
on your phone and
Pink,
then
pink line. Yeah, they have many different, but I use the pink one.
go ahead and find it on your phone. Hold it up to camera so that I'm a Plant knows what you're talking about. All right, let's see here. I'll take a couple of questions. Frank James writes, a Russian tried to catfish me once. She was way too hot to be trying to hook up with a guy on the opposite side of the planet. No, Frank. No, Frank. A lot of women in Russia want to get with American guys because they desperately want to come to America. And they want a guy who will take care of them. Is that not right, Valeria?
Not just Russians, I think more like Ukrainian.
More like Ukrainian and women from all over Eastern Europe.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's see here.
What kind of conditioner does Chris use on his back?
Very funny, Anonymous. You're hilarious. All right, let's see here. Otaku Magnet writes, I watched a vlog of a Russian couple that were extremely grateful to American donors for money to have their baby in a private care. Never seen Russians brought nearly to tears like that. That's very cool. Is it sort of bad medical facilities in Russia or something like that?
Not good.
State-run, I think, are particularly bad.
Well,
I've been to a state-run facility in Bulgaria, and it was... I mean,
It's
there
a
was
t-
like
it's-
spider webs.
it's a-
I mean, the walls were cracking. It was
it's
unbelievable.
like at least terrible thing. It's not terrible. I mean, don't consider Moscow or St. Petersburg. The rest of Russian medical facilities are not great. I mean, I'm from small village. We don't even have hospital in village. You can die while you are like somebody driving you to the hospital because nobody will come to rescue you.
Yeah.
Nobody will
Yeah.
come to help you.
Yeah. So Savannah Dyer is back, and she writes, I love the show with both of you in it. You guys are very entertaining together. You complement one another. I think what she's saying is, Chris, your show is okay, but Valeria's show is amazing.
Stop it.
Let's see here. Anonymous has said, you've all made my day reading my dumb jokes. I really need to get a life. Oh, we love you, Anonymous. Let's see here. Otaku Magnet wrote, the wife was hospitalized a week before, and patients were fed out of a bucket. What in the world? Yeah, there are some things that happen in some places in Russia, I think, that are pretty foul. I mean, Russia's got a lot of different kinds of places. So if you're in St. Petersburg or you're in Moscow, you're actually probably fine. But if you're in some of these other parts of Russia, it can be pretty nasty. Actually, when I was talking to Valeria about her hometown, not your hometown so much, but where you went to college, we started looking on the map, and you were like, "This is our parking lot," and I'm like, "Whoa, hold on, this is your parking lot? There's no parking lot here. It's just dirt." She's like, "Yeah, it's dirt parking lot."
And you don't have you don't have a parking like assigned to you.
Right.
You just take a space and somebody can take your space, and well, there's no assignment.
Well, that's true for a lot of
Everybody
different
can
kinds of
take
places,
theirs.
but the fact that it's not paved was really bizarre to me. It was just she's like, yeah, well, this is Russia, Chris. They don't pave anything. Like, it's just dirt everywhere. And this is a university. This is a university parking lot. This is not just like somebody's, redneck house. This is an actual like establishment.
No, it
Bizarre.
wasn't my university. My university didn't have any parking lot, darling. It was just my apartment where I live.
Oh, it was your like dorms kind of thing.
No, we didn't have dorms. I lived in the flat that my aunt has.
Oh, okay, all right. You had a
Yeah,
you
we
had a
didn't
flat.
have dorms.
I okay, fine. Okay.
If you don't have flat,
Apartment
you
building,
don't go
my
to
mistake,
the
guys.
university. You can live in your car, whatever. We didn't have dorms.
William Marchant says, "How did you meet Sebastian Gorka?" Well, when I came out with the show, with the episode about AOC, right, the brains behind AOC, everybody was really impressed with that because nobody had seen their little video that they'd put out, and I kind of copped onto that pretty quick, and I put that video out, and kind of because I had been thinking about this for some time. Who was it that was controlling AOC? I realized that AOC wasn't coming up with most of the stuff she was saying. I realized she was being coached. I wanted to find out who. So I'd done some research into that. Found a video where the people who were behind AOC, the Justice Democrats, had basically said, we auditioned Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and we put her up, and none of her positions are her own. They're all our positions that we tell her to choose and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I can't believe they're saying this on a video, right? So I produced this video that went viral, and everybody saw it. Like 1 billion people saw this video. Probably not 1 billion, but lots of people saw it. And I was being interviewed everywhere. I was being interviewed on pretty much every show except Fox. Fox didn't bring me on for some reason. Although my video did get featured on Hannity's website, which was kind of cool. But I didn't get actually asked to come on any of those shows. But I did get asked to go on, just lots of them. I went on Glenn Beck. I went on, Alex Jones. I went on all kinds of shows. And one of the shows I went on was Gorka's show. And I don't know, Gorka and I just clicked, so you click with some people, you don't click with other people that you meet. I clicked with Glenn Beck too. Glenn Beck was an awesome guy, but I haven't been back on his show. Although the Blaze did ask me to come join their family, which I declined to do, although I really wanted to. I was asked to come on to Newsmax. I actually signed a contract with Newsmax at one point, but that didn't work out for a variety of reasons. But yeah, one person that I've come to befriend in this business is Sebastian Gorka, and he's an awesome dude. And I go on his radio show sometimes, and yeah, he's all right. Have you ever met Gorka?
Yes.
When did you meet
I
him?
think so. I hope so.
I think you've said
was
hi.
he on CPAC?
You say, yeah, he was at CPAC.
Yeah, that's
But-
probably right.
Yeah, I think you've said hi to him when we were on Zoom
Of
and stuff like that.
course.
Anything else? Anything else interesting?
Mm,
Anything
Well-
more about your hair?
unfortunately.
Anonymous says the Daily Wire was very dismissive of your AOC video. Very disappointing. Yeah, actually, there's a couple guys over there who are like, this is not such a big deal. And I wanted to respond and be like, you're a moron if you don't realize why this is a big deal. But I didn't. Because I respect those guys. I don't want to be a dick for them. It's kind of funny. The Daily Wire, all those guys, Shapiro and all those guys, they kind of distinguish themselves from all the other YouTubers, conservative YouTubers. There are conservative YouTubers who we call each other, we message each other, we communicate in some way or another. Daily Wire guys, they have nothing to do with anybody else. They're like their own world. Tim Pool's kind of like that too. They just kind of do their own thing and they don't associate with anyone else, which is fine. That's their prerogative. I don't associate with many people either. But I'm willing to communicate, so I'm a little bit critical of those guys specifically for that reason. But they're kind of big shots, they're a pretty big company, and I respect them. I like all their shows. I think Ben Shapiro's great, and I watched all their stuff for a long time, but I don't have a lot of time to watch that stuff anymore. So yeah, they're just a different breed. They got their own thing going. If they don't recognize the stuff that I'm putting out as valuable, whatever. I obviously disagree with them, but whatever. It is what it is. Do you want to read that one, or do you want me to?
You, because it.
All right. The R Heretic writes, YouTube does not allow me to post a link. Censors working overtime. Just click on my account for links. For the links. Keep up the amazing work, brother. You're an inspiration. Thanks so much, man. Yeah, I'm sure his YouTube channel is good. I haven't looked at it, so I can't sit here and go, this is the best YouTube channel I've ever seen, but I will definitely watch some of your videos when we get off here. And okay, is there anything else we need to talk about, sweetie?
I saw a question about Russia.
Binary Recoil writes, having a political party declare someone in the party as a literal proxy / puppet is a very big deal, and this is the first I've heard of it. Well, that's exactly my point. My point was that, look, if you're going to put up somebody as a representative of your group, say we're a special group, we have specific policies, like say the Heritage Foundation. Like say the Heritage Foundation says, we're going to support this person in their candidacy, and he's going to follow the principles of the Heritage Foundation, and we're going to tell this person how to vote. We're going to tell this person what policies to promote and all that kind of stuff. I actually think that's okay if you announce that before they run or while they're running for office. If you run them as a traditional candidate and they ran AOC as like, Alexandria from the Bronx, or whatever it was. But Alexandria was not from the Bronx. Alexandria was from one of the wealthiest counties in the country in New York. And she was like, well, I had family in the Bronx, so I went there from time to time, and that's supposed to justify it, right? And she also ran as a Latino woman in a heavily Latino district, and the reality was that the guys that were running her were white men. Well, one of them was an Indian guy from India, and then the other two were white men, the guys that ran her campaign essentially and got her elected. And so they were getting these sort of leftist, Marxist. Okay, they claim they're not Marxists. I beg to differ. We argue about that. But you got these leftist men running her campaign and making the decisions for her, but she's presenting herself as this Latino woman representing her district. But it wasn't that. It was a deception. It was, in fact, a deception of the voters. And so to me, that was actually a big deal.
Okay. Otaku Magnet. One more question. Is Putin trying to encourage people to build private homes to move people out of USSR apartment buildings? No. I mean, they're building more apartment buildings, like new ones, but they don't encourage build private homes. They just fixing USSR buildings. Like my parents' building just maybe a year ago got fixed, like from outside, like beautifully. So like no just bricks, like naked, just simple bricks, just nice outside, orange.
I would like to say our cat's getting smarter. He's found a way to tap this that little spring thing in the bathroom to try to get our attention. Like, hey guys, I'm trapped in here. We're like, we know you're trapped in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's on purpose. All right. Rand Cooley writes, just caught you guys live. Hello from Eugene. I watch your show at work on the night shift. Should do a meet sometime here in Oregon. Keep up the good work. Rand Cooley, I'll tell you what. My sister lives in Eugene. We've been to Eugene several times. We love Eugene. Honestly, you guys, if you don't know what Eugene, Oregon is, just type it in. Just type it into to Google or Bing or something like that, and hit the image. I mean, Eugene is one of the most beautiful places in the country. The only reason I would never live there is that I hate my family. No, I don't really. No, I don't really. My sister's amazing. She's got some beautiful nieces. She's got a great husband. That family is an awesome family, and I absolutely love Eugene. Such a cool part of the country. And yeah, if I do go to Eugene, Valeria, make sure you mark this guy's name down, Rand Cooley. We'll go ahead and look you up. We'll go have a cup of coffee. All right. So anything else? Do we want to read anything more?
I think we are.
Teflon Don writes, South Oregon and North California should create their own state. Yeah, Northern California is actually really nice as well. It's very similar to Southern Oregon, and a lot of trees, a lot of forests. That's where they shot Return of the Jedi. They have the redwood forest up there. Absolutely beautiful country. Let's see here. Bigfoot Chipmunk writes, my kids call that spring thing the badada. Because when you hit it, it goes badada. That's my guess. So that's what I'm guessing. That's pretty funny. Let's see here. What else do we got? I can't read that one. I can't read that one. Let's see here. I'm a Plant writes, hey, Americans. Did you know since Mr. Potato Head took office, foreign countries have been getting green card lottery ads like mad? Ooh, I did not know that. That's fascinating. So now people are being told like, hey, come to America.
Yeah, they increased how many green cards Russia can get. Before it was 50,000, now it's like 80,000.
Really? So wow, that's a pretty significant jump.
It is, yes, almost
Yeah,
twice.
it's like a 50%
say.
jump. A little over that. Well, that's fantastic. All right, well, darling, would you like to say goodbye?
Yes. Goodbye. Good night.
Good night. Well,
See you tomorrow.
I'm toxic. She's masculine, and together we are
Toxic masculinity.
toxic masculinity.
I can't do this voice.
Yeah, you can. Come on. She can do the voice. She's just pretending. All right, guys. We will see you guys tomorrow night. And thank you for the chats, and we'll see you soon. Good night.